Hello. Today I am going to tell you about testing at Fora Soft. Fora Soft has a testing department. The department specialists are an integral part of project teams. This means that every project has at least one QA engineer who gets involved as soon as the project starts. We start testing even before the code is written. Testing user story and wireframe. User story is a list of application features from the user's point of view. Testers proofread user stories, checking them for overall logic and consistency. When bugs are found, testers discuss them with analysts and bring user story to a development-ready state and suggest possible improvements and flesh out edge cases. Wireframe is an interactive prototype of a user interface. It is designed for requirements visualization and is being tested together with user story. The wireframe should display everything you need to understand the basic mechanisms of the application, and there should be nothing unnecessary or undescribed in the user story. Based on user story and wireframe in Jira, design tasks in the application itself are created. Before the tasks are put into work, the QA engineer reviews them. The testers make sure that the task is unambiguously formulated, described in sufficient detail, and does not need decomposition. An important point of checking tasks before development is the compilation of acceptance criterion. The tester formulates and attaches readiness criteria to the task. Based on these criteria, the tester plans testing and prepares test documentation, test cases, and test suites. We use KSEO to manage the test cases. Our test cases cover all requirements from user story and also take into account negative scenarios and possible edge cases. They are also supplemented and updated as the project develops. So, while our testers were making test documentation, designers had already developed mockups, and developers had time to design the architecture and started developing APIs. Designs must be verified for compliance and wireframe. All elements of the rendered screens must match the description from user story. UI kit is the set of all elements on which the UI of your site is built, should contain all states of active elements. In texts and logos, colors are checked and grammar is checked. We also draw your attention to accessibility. To ensure that the application interface is accessible to all users, we check the color schemes and sizes of the controls. The tester makes sure that there are no erroneous decisions at the stage of layouts, and the future software is designed to be user-friendly and ergonomic. Once the designs are tested, the developers start implementing them and eventually give a version to the test environment for testing. The tester checks it according to the test cases. Using tools like curl or Postman, our testers test the API. We work with a prepared API doc, check the answers we get against what is described in the documentation, and the application is compared to already approved designs using dev tools, Figma, and special extensions like Pixel Perfect and What Found. Fonts, colors, and display of elements are checked. A beautiful and user-friendly interface should load quickly so that the user doesn't feel uncomfortable waiting. We help optimize the interface of web applications using PageSpeed and Lighthouse tools. To ensure the app works consistently across platforms, we utilize a large selection of live devices in the office, as well as access to the BrowserStack device farm. We enter all defects found into Jira. After fixing them, it is mandatory to recheck them and make sure that nothing related to this functionality is broken. Also, the result of our testers' work here will be suggested improvements, the opportunity for which comes after the application has been developed. At the end of a separate phase of work, we have a stable version of the product installed on a demo environment. The tester performs regression testing before demonstrating it to the customer. A detailed report of the test results is provided to the EPM project team. It provides information on which components have been checked and whether anything needs to be corrected before handing over to the customer. With each new version, the amount of checks required grows along with the number of features in the product itself. And having time to check everything by hand becomes frankly time-consuming. In order to optimize this work, we use autotests. We write them in JavaScript using Cypress or Playwright tools. Autotests regularly give us information about the version status in visual reports. Thanks to them, we can see if the latest update broke anything. They are certainly no substitute for manual testing, but they are great helpers. It is worth saying separately about testing of payment systems, as it is one of the most important components of the system. To test payments, we use the test environment provided by the provider's sandbox. Different cases are tested: successful and unsuccessful payments, payments with 3D secure, payments with expired card, and others. We also test the performance of our products. We verify that the system runs optimally and remains available under load. We make sure that all computing power is efficiently utilized when needed and shut down to save money when the need is gone. For this purpose, we use off-the-shelf tools and technologies for API load, such as K6, as well as our own JavaScript-based tool, Jupyter, and Amazon Spotflit, which allows us to flexibly simulate the work of thousands of users on a particular site and see what will happen to the system under such load. When the system is ready for release, we perform final regression testing. This is a test of all functions to detect errors resulting from changes and enhancements. To make sure that new features don't break anything that's already working, you can't do without a regression. This is what Fora Soft testing looks like in general terms. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.